Hello guys, today we are going to the movie review. Movie name is The Basketball Diaries. This movie directed by Scott Calvert. It's based on Jim Correll's autobiographical book. Is a cryptic coming of age film that explored the tumultuous journey of a young basketball player graphic with addictions and personal struggles. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio is a breakthrough performance. The film offers a raw and unfiltered book. Look at the darker side of youth in 1970s New York. The movie excels in gritty realism, capture the grillious environment and the emotional turmoil faced by its protagonist. Jim Carroll copy delivers a compelling performance portraying a charismatic yet vulnerable teen battling heroin's addictions and trying to find his way. The supporting cast, including Lawrence Bracco and Mark Wahlberg, adds depth to the gritty narrative. Visuals, the film employs a moody atmospheric style that embraces viewers in the black urban landscape and the chaos of addictions. The soundtrack complements the tunes, blending punk and rock influence that evoke the era rebellious spirit. However, some critics argue that the film's raw intensity can be unsettling or exploitative at times, and its depiction of drugs use may be distracting. Despite this, the basketball diaries remains a powerful, honest portrayal of youth, addiction, and the search of redemption. Overall, it's a compelling, intensive film that offers a poignant look at the struggles of adolescence and the destructive allure of addictions. It's reminded of viewers' preference for raw, emotional charged experience. So, guys, I tell you, Basketball Diaries 99 Fatful movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a whimsical, gritty, and emotionally charged coming. This film follows Jim Carroll's the charismatic and talented. The Basketball Diary is a whimsical, gritty, and emotional charged coming of age film that delves deep into the emulates the life of Jim Carroll's a talented teenage basketball player whose promising future is derailed by the destructive force of drugs, addictions, crime, and personal disappear directed by Scott Calvert and based on Jim Carroll's autobiographical writing. The film offers a unflinching plot overview, plot overview, redemptions, admits Chow's plot overview. The film's I tell you this plot and overview. The film's Follow Jim Carroll's Leonardo DiCaprio, Christmas Kid, and talented high school basketball star. Jim's journey is marked by moments of rocking temptations and wilting hope. He navigates the menacing the pace of the harsh realistic of addiction's grip on his life. The films also explore themes of friendship, relationships, is way back from the base. I tell you this performance and characterizations. Leonardo DiCaprio performance is a standout element of the basketball diaries. He embodies him carols with raw intensity, capturing the complexity of a young man torn between his natural talent and destructive tendencies. DiCaprio convincingly portrays him charms, vulnerability, and inner turmoil, making his character's struggles deeply relatable and emotionally impactful. Lawrence Bracco provides a compelling performance as Jim's mother, embodying a loving yet helpless figure scouting the souls of her son's sprawling life. Mark Waving. The supporting cast enriches the narrative, portraying a spectrum of characters involved in Jim's world and from addition to criminals, highlighting the preservations of the environment that influenced and often destroy young lives, visual style and direction. Scott Callard's direction emphasized the blank, raw atmosphere of Jim's world. Cinematography employs gritty, often handled shots that creates an immersive sense of chaos and employs gritty, often handled shots that create an immersive sense of chaos and immediately the film's visual tone in dark and moodily effectively capturing the despair and disgruntlement of urban youth in 1960s. The editing and pacing mirrors James' tumultuous mental state, rapid frantics during moments of crisis, sketches the sense of decay and moral ambiguity, embracing the viewers into James' fascinating reality, soundtrack and musical core. The film soundtrack is a visual component combining punk rock and alternative influence that evoke the revolution's spirit of the era. Tracks from bands like the Velvet Underground, the Stooges, and the Romance complement the film's gritty aesthetics and intensity emotional moment there. The music amplifies the sense of youthful refines the, and despair. The films also explore societal issues such as poverty, neglect, and the lack of adequate mental health resources, which contribute to the cycle of addictions and despair. Its journey is both personal and universal, shows the struggles faced by many young people caught in similar circumstances, critique and impact. I tell you guys, this movie's impact and critiques will praised for its honest and raw portrayals of addictions. Some critics have found the film's graphic repetitions unsettling or even exploitative. Its influencing honesty can be difficult. Honesty can be difficult to watch, especially for sensitive viewers. However, many argue that this realism is essential to understanding the depth of James Kroll's struggles and the destructive power of addictions. The Basketball Diaries is often regarded as a cult classic notable for its unvarnished depiction of young and the perils of young dependence. Leonardo DiCaprio performance marked a significant milestone in his career. Regard a cult classic notables it unprecedented depiction of youth and the perils of drug dependence. Difficult issue it is not an easy watch, but it is an important one. An unvarnished look at a young man's fight against the demons and threatens to consume him. This film remembered for viewers who can handle intense visual conflict and approach film that broke thought and empty about difficult issue. It is not an easy watch, but it's an important one. An unrest look. The film is important and unrest look at a young man's fight against the demons that threaten to consume him. The Basketball Diaries 1995 in an in-depth movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a harrowing whimsical exploration of youth addiction and the devastating loss of innocence, directed by Scott Calvert and adapted from Jim Carroll's autobiographical writing. The film delved into the troubled life of Jim Carroll's talented high school basketball star whose promising future is tragically overshadowed by his descent into heroin addiction, crime, and personal despair. It is A raw, unfiltered portrayal of a young man is fight to survive is in a chaotic urban landscape during the 1960s. Plot and narrative arc. The film begins with Jim Carroll, Leonardo DiCaprio as a bright, ambitious high school athlete with dreams of basketball stand-up. His life is filled with typical teenage angst, relationship, friendship, and aspirations set against the backdrop of gritty New York City. However, as the story unfolds, we see him gradually draw into the underground drug scans, unneatly experimenting with heroin out of the curiosity, but soon becoming inserted in its destructive grip. The narrative vividly captures Jim's spiral downward from casual drug use to full-blown addiction, from petty they step to more serious crimes, and from moment to hope to dive deep despair. The films explore the themes of loss of innocence, ambition, and stability. As Jim's relationship suffers and his health deteriorates, his friendship with Mickey, a fellow addict, highlights the influence of peer pressures and loyalty within the destructive thought. The film's Jim's internet internal struggles are palpable. He oscillates between this moment of clarity and intense craving. The story also depicts him fleeting attempts and repressions, including brief periods of sobriety and authenticity. His portrayals capture the charisma, vulnerability, and internal conflict of James, an intelligent young man battling demons. He barely understands DiCaprio physical transformation, expressions, eye and emotional range, lend credibility and immediacy to the character's suffering. Larry Bracco's delivers a heartfelt performance as Jim's mother, embodying a figure's turns between love and helplessness. Her character's silent and use underscore the family's neglect. Mark Wahlberg's portrays Mickey adds a gritty whimsical edge to the films. His characters embodies the peer influence, loyalty, and despair that often accompany addictions. Wahlberg's intense performance underscore the tragic reality to a friendship in a destructive environment. The supporting cast, including Sims, Brand, Tillis, and other urban characters, lays out visual style and direction. Scott Keller's direction emphasizes realism and immediacy, employing handheld camera and naturalistic lighting to immerse viewers in gym world. The film's visual tone is stark, gritty, and at times claustrophobic, effectively conveying the sense of intimate experience by those caught in the cycles of addictions. The cinematography use of shadows, muted colors, flatters, and dark framing, essential themes of despair and moral ambiguity. The science depreciating drugs are lighting of embrace viewers in Jim's world. The film's visual tone is stark, gritty, and at times claustrophobic, effectively the cinematography use of shadows, muted color, letters, and stark framing censors themes of despair and moral ambiguity. The scans debating drug use are raw and unflinching, emphasizing the physical and emotional toll of addictions. The addictions rhythms Lucas quick cuts during moments of chaos and power, contemplative sequence during atmospheric sense mirroring Jim's mental state. This style shows the higher the emotional impact and creates an immersive viewer's experience. Soundtrack and musical atmosphere. Music plays a visual role in stabilized the film's tuned soundtrack features punk, blues rock, and alternative tracks from bands like the Valiant Underground, the Stooges, and the Ramones, capturing the rebellious spring and raw energy of the 1960s youth culture. This song underscores moment of defiance, alternative, and despair, amplifying the emotional weight of Jim's journey. Defines alternative and despair amplifies the emotional weight of the Jim's journey. Soundtrack and musical atmosphere. Music plays a vital role in stabilizing the film's tone. The soundtrack features punk, garage rock, and alternative tracks from bands like the Valiant Underground, the Stooges, and the Romans, capturing the rebellious spirit and raw energy of the 1960s youth culture. This song underscores moment of defiance, alternative, and despair, amplifying the emotional weight of Jim's journey. The soundtrack, gritty, energetic soundscape, complements the film's visuals, creative, and atmosphere that is both whimsical and evocative. The music also acts as counterpoint to the film's darker moment, providing a raw authenticity to the story, themes, and message. The basketball diaries explores a multitude of complex themes, youth of innocence. The film's highlights how easily innocence can be eroded by external influence, peer pressure, and societal neglect, addictions, and despair. It offers an unprivileged look at the destructive power of heroin, portraying addictions not as a moral failing but as a disease that consumes and destroys. Urban decay and societal failure. The film underscores how poverty, neglect, and a lack of mental health support contribute to the cycles of addictions and crime, friendship, and loyalty. The relationship deficit reveals both the importance and the tragic consequences of loyalty, destruction, environment, hope, and redemption. Despite the blankness, the films hint at the possibility of recovery and the human's capacity for resilience, critical receptions, and impact. Well, the Basketball Diaries was praised for its raw honesty, powerful performance, and gritty realism. It also faced criticism for its explicit depictions of drug use and violence. Some viewers found the film's unpleasant portrayal of addictions to be disturbing or exploitive. Nostalgia. Many critics appreciate its importance as a social commentary and its ability to evoke empathy for the suffering for addicting. The film's impact is notable is in how it humanizes a marginalized segment of society, prompting discussions about youth vulnerability, mental health, and social responsibility. Leonardo DiCaprio carries defining performance, earned widespread acclaim, and established him as a serious actor capable of taking complex roles. Final work in the basketball diaries is a potent, emotionally charged film that refuses to stay away from uncomfortable truth is unprecedented depreciating of addiction set against the backdrop of 1960s New York City offers a sobering look at the destructive powers of substance abuse. The human toll it exact film's intense performance. The past it is not easy watch, it's a graphical sense, emotional troubles, and unsettling themes damage emotionally realizations from views, however it is essential film for the interact social issue, youth culture and the human capacity for both destruction and hope. The basketball diaries stand as a stark reminder of how fragile innocence can be and how difficult yet vital the road to recovery can be. So I tried to best review this movie. So you continue with me. I tell you this with latest review. So The Basketball Diaries 1995 and in-depth movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a harrowing in circles exploration of youth addictions and the devastating loss of innocent. Diaries by Scott Fellows and adapted from Jim Carroll's autobiographical writing. The film delves into the turbulent life of Jim Carroll, a talented high school basketball star whose promising future is fragile, overshadowed by this talented high school basketball star whose promising future is fragile, overshadowed by his descent into heroin addiction, crime, and personal despair. It is a raw, unfiltered portrayal of a young man's fight to serve amidst the harsh reality of adolescence. A raw, unfiltered portrayal of a young man's fight to survive amidst the harsh realistic of adolescence. The power of autobiography storytelling. The film's narrative is rooted in Carl's real life experience, lending an authenticity to the story that makes the characters and their struggles feel profoundly relatable. The movie's use of Carol's actual diaries and ties as a narrative device adds a layer of emergency, placing the viewers in the midst of James' chaotic world. This approach also underscores the universality of the themes explored in the film, underscoring the idea that the struggles of these characters are in many views those of many others. Leonardo DiCaprio, a career-defining performance. Leonardo DiCaprio delivers a breakout performance as Jim Carroll's, writing a depth and rounds to the characters that is nothing short of remarkable. The Copperio portrays capturing the complexity of a young man's struggle to balance his appreciates with the harsh realities to this Christmas dance. His performance is both captivating and heartbreaking, convincing the sense of despair and hopeless that defines him. Don one special the Copperio's performance and the Basketball Diaries is a testament to his growing talent and the defining moment in this career. Momentum and tension. The pacing of the Basketball Diaries is deliverable and misunderstanding, building momentum throughout its exploration of Jimmy's escalations, addiction, and involvement in crime. The tail's tension is palpable, creating a sense of unease in the views that mirror the disputes and fears that define Jim's world. This approach is effective in conveying the sense of hope, helpless, and despair that Jim feels as he become uncertainly contrast in his addiction. The film's use of montage sequence and fragment narrative structure adds to the sense of chaos and disruptions, underscoring the idea that Jim's world is spirals out of control. Themes and identity and belonging. I tell you guys, this movie's themes and identity and belonging. It is core. The Basketball Diary is a movie about identity and belonging. Jim struggles to find his place in the world are mirrored in the film's explorations of themes such as loyalty, friendship, and the search for meaning. The movie's portraying of Jim's relationship with his friend and family serve as a counterpoint to his addictions, highlighting the sense of disconnect and isolation that defines his life. The film's exploration of these themes is both poignant and thought-provoking, raises an important question about the natures of identity and the challenge of growing up. Visuals and atmosphere. The film's visual style is stark and infiltrative, capturing the harsh realities of Jim's world with a sense of gritty and realism. The cinematography is often blank and unpowering, reflect the sense of hopelessness that defines his existence. The colors blend is similarly muted with the focus on shades, hope of grey and bright that underscore sense of desolation and despair. The film's use of lights is cruelly effective, creating a sense of unease and tension throughout it. Is use shadow and low key illuminates addiction and its conjugations. Hello guys, I tell you this movie visual and atmosphere. The film's visual style is stark and unpleasant, capturing the harsh realities of James' world with a sense of grit and realism. The cinematography of the black and unforgiving, reflecting the sense of hopelessness that defines Jim's existence. The color palette is similarly muted with a focus on shades of grey and has that soundtrack and sense of desolation and despair. The film's use of lighting is equally effective, creating a sense of unseen and tells thought. Its use of shadow and low key illuminations, addiction, it and its conjugations. Conjugation, addiction, and its conjugations. The basketball dice is a powerful exploration of addictions and its conjugation. The film's portrayal and devastating impact of a hero of Jones' life, highlighting is the way is his addictions is influencing and honest. The Basketball Diaries is powerful explorations, addiction, and conjugation. The film portrays the devastating impact of use on James' life, highlighting the way in which addiction can consume and destroy even the most promising future. The movie's portrayals of addiction in influencing and honest avoiding the romanticizations or glamorization of subject. Instead, the films present a stark and unpersonalized portrayal of the realistic reality of addictions, highlight the way in which it can lead to physical and emotional destruction, a hunting and unforgettable experience. The Basketball Diary is a haunting and unforgettable experience, a move that lingers long after the credits roll. It is a powerful exploration of youth, addiction, and the loss of innocence, a film that raises important questions about the nature of identity and the challenge of growing up within its unflinching portrayal of addiction and its conjugation. The Basketball Diaries is a movie that will leave viewers more disturbed and perhaps even changed. It is a film that demands to be seen, a movie that will stay with viewers long after the credits rolls. Conclusion. In conclusion, The Basketball Diaries is a masterpiece of cinematic storytelling, a powerful exploration of youth addiction and the loss of innocence with the unflinching portrayal of addiction head and its conjugation. The film raise important questions about the nature of identity and the challenge of growing up. Leonardo DiCaprio breakout performance is a testament to his growing talent and the film's explorations of themes such as identity, belonging, and the sense of meaning is both poignant and for thought-provoking. If you have seen the Basketball Diary, do yourself a favor and watch it is as soon as possible. It is a film that will leave you moved, disturbed, and perhaps even changed. The Basketball Diaries, an in-depth movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a growing, harrowing with circles, exploration of youth addiction and the devastating loss of innocence. Directed by Scott Calvert and adapted from James Carlin's autobiographical writing, the film delves into the turbulent life of James Carroll, a talented high school basketball star whose promising future is tragically overshadowed by his descent into his addictions, crime, and personal despair. It is a raw, unfiltered portrayal of a young man's fight to survive amidst the harsh reality of urban life. The authenticity of Jim Carroll's story at the heart of the basketball diaries lies in Carroll's gripping, poignant narrative. It serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Carroll's story is a stark reminder that even the most promising individuals can fall prey to the pitfalls of addictions and the grossing effect of urban poverty. His authentic voice and unwavering honesty provide a level of depth and nuance that is rare. Cinematic adaptations of true stories. The performance of Leonardo DiCaprio portrayal of James Carroll is a masterclass in acting, showcasing his remarkable range and versatility. DiCaprio fully embraces himself in the characters, capturing the turmoil, vulnerability, and determinations that define Carroll's complex personality. His performance is a testament to his ability to tap into the emotional depth of this character, making the Basketball Diaries a powerful and unforgettable cinematic experience. The cinematography and music. The film's cinematography handles the sounds, measures is a visual is faced capturing the cryptic, unforgiving landscape of New York City in the 1960s. The cinematographer use of muted color and stark lighting create a sense of realism that draws the viewers to the world of film soundtrack. It is so core the film's powerful indexed to destructive nature addictions, highlighting the way in which it can consume an individual's life and destroy their relationship. The film also raises important questions about identity, particularly in the context of urban poverty. The loss of innocence. Carol's journey is a poignant reminder that even the most promising individuals can fall prey to the battle of addictions and that recovery is always possible. The impact of the films The Basketball Diaries has had a significant impact on the film's industry, influencing generation of filmmakers and actors. The film's raw, unflinching portrayal of addictions and the struggle of urban youth has been widely praised for its honesty and emotional response. The film has also been recognized for its technical achievement, earning several awards and nominations for its cinematography. Conclusion, I tell you guys, this movie's conclusion: The Basketball Diaries is a powerful, unflinching portrayal of addictions, identity, and the human conditions. With its authentic narrative, outstanding performance, and technical achievement, the film is a must-see for audience interested in cinematic storytelling. Its theme of addictions and identity are both timely and timeless, making The Basketball Diaries a film that continues to resonate with audience today. If you have seen these films, it is an absolute must-watch. Cast and crew. Cast: Leonardo DiCaprio as the film's core roles, Laurel Bracco as Mr. Carlos, Bruno's Gravely as Chico, Robert De Niro as James Carroll's adult crew, direction Scott Calvert, screenplay Brian Glufo, cinematography songs, music Sean Francis, award and nominations. I tell you, this movies The Basketball Diaries has been recognized for its technical achievement, earning several awards and nominations for its cinematography, editing, and sound design. The Basketball Diaries was nominated for several MTV Movie Awards, including Best Male Performance for Leonardo DiCaprio and Best Breakthrough Legacy. I tell you, this movie's legacy, The Basketball Diaries, has had a lasting impact of the film industries, influencing a generations of film marks and actors. The film's portrayals of addiction and the struggle of urban youth has been widely praised for its honestly and emotional resonance. The Basketball Diaries continue to be a powerful reminder of the devastating effect of addictions and the importance of seeking help. Conclusion. In conclusion, the basketball days is a powerful, influencing portal of addictions, identity, and the human condition with its authentic narrative, outstanding performance, and technical achievements. The life is a must-see for anyone interested in cinematic storytelling. Its themes of addiction and identity are both timely and timeless, making the Basketball Diaries a film that continues to resonate with audience today. If you have seen this film, it is an absolute must-watch. The Basketball Diaries 1990 film 5 an extensive and in-depth movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a raw, intense and emotionally charged film that delves deep into themes of youth addiction, despair and the fragile nature of human identity. Directed by Scott Calvert and based on the autobiographical writings of Jim Carroll, this film offers a stark, unvarnished look at a young man's descent into heroin's addictions amid the backdrop of 1960 New York City is a circle's exploration that refuses to say away from uncomfortable truth, making it a haunting masterpiece that continues to resonate with the audience decades after its release. The origins and authenticity of the story. What set the Basketball Diaries apart from many others in drums, and addictions film is its foundation in real life experience. Jim Carroll's autobiographical writing are candid, unflinching account of his tumultuous adolescence marked by extraordinary talent on the basketball court, juxtaposed with a crippling heroine's addiction. The films faithfully adapt this story, capturing the South's confused and emotional struggles of a young man battling Nicodemus will try to hold into this sense of self, this authenticity and the film's scripted realism that elevates it by conventional Hollywood portrayal of youth and addiction. The story is autobiographical nature means that very moment feels deeply personal and genius, offering viewers an unfiltered glimpse into the struggle faced by many urban youth during that era and still today. Leonardo DiCaprio's breakout performance, one of the most compelling aspects of the Basketball Diaries is Leonardo DiCaprio compelling portrayals of James Carroll's DiCaprio aged just 90 years old during filming delivers a performance brimming with raw emotional vulnerability and intensity. He masterfully embodies the conflicting feelings of hope and despair, capturing Jim's youthful expressions, his talent on the basketball court, and his tragic descent into addictions. DiCaprio's performance is a year tour de force that showcases his remarkable talent and hints at the story's careers that would follow. His ability to portray the complexity of a young man lost in his own darkness, yet still holding onto a flinkers of hope makes him cruel arc. Characters, both sympathetic and tragic, his roles help stabilize the DiCaprio as one of Hollywood's most promising young actors and remains one of his most memorable earlier performance. I tell you, this movie's visual style and cinematography. New York City in the 1916 cinematography saw muted applies a muted textured colors palette that emphasize the blackness and despair of James World's the use of shadow low-key lightings plates that emphasizing the blackness and despair of James World the use of shadows low-key lighting and handheld camera work creates an immersive experience that places viewers directly into the chaos and confusions of James' life. The film cinematography effectively alternated between generating frantic sequences as scans depicting drugs use and chaotic street life and Cuda's more introspective moment that highlighting Jim's internal struggle. The visuals contrast enhance the emotional impact of the story, making the viewers feel the high and low of Jim's experience. The power of music and sound. Music plays an integral role in shaping the mood and atmosphere of the Basketball Diaries. The soundtrack features as a compelling mix of rock, jazz, and blues that enclose the rebellious spirit of the era and underscores key emotional moment. Tracks like "The Doors Break On Thought" and "The Pretty Soulful Sound of Jazz" evoke the mood of urban life and Jim's internal conflict. The sound design complements the visual perfectly, highlighting sense of chaos, long line, and desperate use of dignity. Sounds such as street noise, sirens, as clatter of basketball ground film in its urban setting. The reinforce its gritty realisms, themes, and explored in depth. I tell you this addiction and its devastating impact. At its core, the Basketball Diaries is a stark meditations on addictions and its destructive power. The film does not romanticize drugs use or poverty it as glamorous. Instead, it reveals the brutal reality of heroin's dependency. Jim's addiction is depicted as a relentless, all-consuming force that gradually erodes his sense of self, destroys relationships, and leads him down a dark path of crime and despair. The film shows how addiction can start with curiosity or poor pressures but quickly spread out of control, trapping individuals in cycles of shame, desperation, and violence. Shame doesn't is heartbreaking, and the film's unpleasant portrayals make it clear that addiction is a disease that can devastate even the most promising lives. Youth identity and the search for more meaning beyond addiction. The films explore the universal themes of youth and the search for identity. James' journey reflect the struggles many young people face when trying to find their place in the world. His talent on the basketball court symbolizes hope, emotional potential, and the possibility of a better future. But this addiction and an environment threaten to destroy that potential. James' relationship with friends, both supporting and destructive, highlight the importance of belonging and the influence of peer groups. His interactions with authorities, figures, family, and friends reveal a complex web of loyalty, betrayals, and the desire for acceptance. Urban life and social environment set against the backdrop of 1960 New York City. The film also provides a commentary on urban life, poverty, and social disconnection. The city itself feels like a character creating unpredictable and often unforgiving. The films depict a world where opportunity is scarce and survival often comes at a steep price. I tell you this movie is supporting characters and their roles. The film supporting cast adds depth to Jim's story, providing concentrating despair and highlighting different facts of urban life. Florence Bracco's performance as Max grows after glimpses into a mother's consequence and helpless will brought Portal option which provides insight into the peer pressures and environment that influence him choosing them interaction with other addictions, deletes and street stealing paint widely landscape that surround him. These characters serve as a both cautionary tales and tragic figures, emphasizing the film's blank but honest portrayals of its world directions and screenplay. Jim's interactions with other addictions declare direction and screenplay. Scott Calvert's direction is influencing and honest, capturing the raw emotions and soul of Jim's life. The pacing is deliberate, allowing emotional introspections amid intense sequence, creating a rhythm that mirrors Jim's influencing mental statement. Brian Klubert's screenplay faithfully captures Kroll's voice, maintaining the autobiographical tone and emphasizing the emotional stakes. The dialogues tell authentic and the narrative structure sometimes fragmented and non-clinics reflect a disorienting experience of addiction and mental turmoil. Critical reception and legacy. The Basketball Diaries received mixed reviews upon release but has since gained recognition as a cult classic and an important film about addictions, and both critics praised the DiCaprio performance. The film gritty realism and its uncompromising honesty. Its influence can be seen in subsequent films tackling similar themes such as request for dreams and transporting. The film's impact endures because it refused to stay away from unforgettable truth, instead comforting viewers with the harsh realities of addictions and the struggle of adolescence. It remains a powerful education and emotional tool for understanding the depth of human despair and resilience. Personal reflections and final thought. The Basketball Diaries is more than just a film about addiction. It's a haunting exploration of the fragility of youth, the corrupting influence of environment and peer pressures, and the enduring humans' desire for hope and redemption. Its rawness and authentic makes it a difficult but necessary pause, forcing viewers to confront unforgettable truth about society, youth, and the human conditions. Leonardo DiCaprio performance alone makes these films worth watching, but its true strength lies in its honest portrayals of a young man's fragile journey. It challenges audience to reflect on their own life, the struggle of others, and the importance of compassion and understanding. In conclusions, the Basketball Diaries stand as a powerful, emotional, wrenching, and visually compelling film that refuses to sugarcoat its subject matter. It is a cinematic masterpiece that offers no easy answer but instead presents a brutally honest look at addiction, youth, and the search for meaning in a chaotic world. If you seek films that will move, disrupt, and provoke thought, this is an essentially viewing experience that will stay with you long after the credit roll. The Basketball Diaries is an extensive and in-depth movie review. The Basketball Diaries is a raw, intense, and emotionally charged film that delves deep into themes of youth addictions, despair, and the fragile nature of humans' identity. Directed by Scott Calvert and based on the autobiographical writing of James Carroll, this film offers a stark autobiographical writing of James Carroll. This film offers a stark, unrestrained look at a young man's descent into heroin's addictions amid the backdrop of 1960s New York City. It is when circles explorations of refuse to stay away from unforgettable truth, making it a film that is as much a reflection of the times in which it was set as it is timeless commentary on the human conditions. The film starred Brian Renfro as James Carroll's charismatic and talented high school basketball player who finds himself increasingly disillusioned with the constraint of his suburban life as he navigates the complexity of adolescence. James becomes increasingly drawn to the allure of heroines, which promise and escapes from the pressures of school's family and the expectations of the parenting played with remarkable intensity by Renfro. Jim's descent into addiction is a heart-wrenching journey that is both deeply personal and universally relatable. One of the standout aspects of the basketball diary is its meticulous attention to period details from the clothes and hairstyle to the music and cultural reference. The film is a lovingly crafted time capsule that transports viewers back to a bygone era. The film's production design is meticulous, accurately capturing the gritty urban aesthetic of 1960s New York City from the dilapidated of the lower, lower east side to the underground jazz clubs of Greenwich Village. Even every frame of the film is the film soundtrack is equally impressive, featuring a selection of classic rock and roll cuts that perfectly capture the mood and spirit of the era. From the opening chords of the battle's hell to the closing notes of the doors and the end, the film music is an internal part of the narrative, underscoring the emotional high and low of James' journey. But the basketball diary is more than just a nostalgic trip back in time. It is a searing indictment of the societal The way in which family dynamics can either enable or exacerbate addictions played by an impressive ensemble cast including Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Carlyle, and Celeste Davis. The film's supporting characters are multi-dimensional and fully realize addiction depth the complexity to the narrative. One of the most striking aspects of the Basketball Diaries is its use of language shot in stark, unpleasant style by cinematography. Respect the film's dialogues is raw, honest, and unvarnished, capturing the slang and idioms of the era with remarkable accuracy. The film's script, adapted by Jones, narrative that is both deeply personal and universally relatable. In conclusion, that Basketball Diaries is a masterpiece of cinematic storytelling, a raw, intense, and emotionally charged film that explored the complexity of the youth addiction and the human condition with its meticulous attention to period details as a standout soundtrack and a nuanced portrayal of the societal condition that allows addictions to thrive. This film is a must-see for anyone interested in the high and lows of humans' experience, whether you are a fan of 1960s nostalgia, addiction studies, or simply great storytelling. The Basketball Diaries in a film that is sure to love its lasting impressions. Cast Brad Renfro as James Corolls, Leo Corolls as Jim's father, Eddie Falco as Jim's mother, Leonardo DiCaprio as Dean, Robert Carlin as Mr. Foss, Julie Flight Lewis as Francis, crew direction Scott Cleworth, screenplay Leonetti Roberts, G. Singles, cinematography Reese White, production designs Richard Ditters, music Robert C. Singles Jones Lonetti, editing Scott Mitchell's award winner Best Actor, Brad Renfro, Gotham's Award 1995 winners Best Cinematography Reese Independent Spirit Award 1996 nominees Best Supporting Actor Leonardo DiCaprio in Independence and the film's use of location shooting in the New York City, Lower East Side, and Paris Village adds to the film's authenticity and period details. The film's score is selection of classic rock and roll cuts, including songs by the Beatles, The Door, and Bob Dylan's legacy. The Basketball Diaries has become a cult classic developed by fans of 1960s nostalgia and addictions. The film's portrayals of addictions and recovery Recovery has been praised for its authentic and nuanced films. Use of language and dialogue has been studied by scholars and linking for its accuracy and impact. The film's influence can be seen in later films and TV shows that explore themes of addictions and recovery, including Requiem for a Dream and The Wire. Conclusion: The Basketball Diary is a masterpiece of cinematic storytelling, a raw, intense, and emotionally charged film that explores the complexity of youth addictions and the human conditions with its meticulous attention to period details, standout soundtrack, and nuanced portrayals of the societal condition that allow addiction to thrive. This film is a must-see for anyone interested in the high and lows of the human's experience. Okay, guys, you continue with me. I tell you, this is with other deep, deep, deep review. So, guys, continue with me. I tell you, this basketball diaries and extensive in the and in depth depth movie review. The Basketball Diary is a raw, intense, and emotionally charged film that delves deep into themes of youth addiction, despair, and the fragile nature of human identity. Directed by Scott Calvert and based on the autobiography writing of James Carroll says, films offer a stark, unvarnished look at a young man's descent into heroin's addictions amid the backdrop of 1960s New York City. It is a rascal's exploration that refuses to stay away from uncomfortable truth, ensuring a viewing experience that is as haunting as it's illuminating. One of the primary lessons reason for the film's impact lies its authentic portrayal of its protagonist, Jim Carroll's, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a breakout performance. DiCaprio nuanced and empathic portrayals bring depth to characters, making it impossible not to be drawn into Jim's world's poetry, basketball, and ultimately addiction. The film narrative is a complex weaving of humorous drama and social commentary, capturing the essence of a vital moment in American history. The 1960s setting is widely brought to life through the film's meticulous attentions to period detail, from the iconic fashions to the soundtrack that transport viewers to an era of musical revolutions. The film's score, featuring a planned 1960s classic and contemporary music number, adds to the emotional depth of the narrative, underscoring the protagonist's emotional journey from the high of basketball success to the love addictions. The supporting cast, including Robert Carlyle, Mark Wahlberg, and Lawrence Bracco, delivers performances that are quite compelling, contributing to the film coherence and engaging narrative. The character's development is meticulous, with each actor bringing their character to life in a way that feels authentic and true to their roles. Calvert's direction is noteworthy for its ability to balance the film's many themes and emotional moments, creating a viewing experience that is both engaging and thought-provoking. The cinematography is equally impressive, capturing the gritty urban landscape of 1960 New York City with a raw, unpleasant gaze. The film's use of lighting and compositions adds to the overall mood, creating a sense of tensions and foreboding that underscore the narrative emotional weight. One of the film's most significant strengths is its unflinching portrayal of the conjugations of addictions. The film does not shy away from the harsh realities of heroin use, depicting the physical and emotional toll it takes on the affected. This approach is refreshingly honest and avoiding the cliches often associated with genre instead opting for announced and compassionate portal that humanize the struggles of addictions. The films also explore the themes of identity, community, and research blogging that are so intimately tied to the human experience in journey both ends of the basketball court serve as a powerful metaphor. The search for self and the desire for connection in a world that often seems cold, unforgiving. The conclusion, the basketball diary is a powerful and hunting film that offers us sharing portraying addictions, identity, and the complexity of the human experience with its authentic portrayals, meticulous attention to detail, and unflinching explorations of uncomfortable truth. This film is a must-see for anyone interested in a raw, honest, and provoking cinematic experience. So, guys, your what say this? You continue with comment your or Okay, guys, continue. The Basketball Diaries 1995, an exhaustive and intricate narrative. The film Basketball Diaries is a nuanced exploration of youth navigating the complexity of identity, addictions, and the struggle for survival in the unforgiving landscape of 1960s New York City, directed by Scott Calvert and based on the autobiographical writing of James Carroll. His narrative is a non-linear introspective journey into the darkest corners of the human experience. It is a narrative that necessitates a nuanced understanding of the protagonist's liner Terminus navigates the intricate web of his relationship struggles and personal demons. The film's narrative is notable for its nuanced portrayal of the protagonist's descent into heroin addictions, a non-linear progress that is either romanticized or trivialized. Instead, it is a stark, unpleasant examination of the consequences of addiction, necessarily consistent yet critical perspective from the viewers. The film's cinematography is noteworthy from its use of natural lighting, which adds a sense of authenticity to the narrative, capturing the gritty, unvarnished essence of the city. Strength, the performance in the film are noteworthy from their nuance and depth, with a particular emphasis on the native voice of the protagonist, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. The character introspective monologues are the narrative device that draws the viewers into the world of the film, necessitating a close engagement with the protagonist's inner working. The supporting cast, including Lawrence Rocco, Max Wahlberg, and Eric Roberts, delivers nuanced performance that add depth and complexity to the narrative, navigating the intricate web of relationship and power dynamic that define the protagonist world. The film's themes of identity, addictions, and the struggles for survivals are notable for their nuance and complexity, necessity a close reading for the narrative. The protagonist's journey is a non-linear exploration of the human conditions, navigating the darker corners of the self and the world around him. It is a narrative that necessitates a nuanced understanding of the intersections between identity, culture, and environment, and the way in which these factors shape and are shaped by individuals. The film's use of non-linear narrative structure and its introspective monologues is a notable feature of the film's necessitates a close engagement with the protagonist's inner world. The narrative voice is a device that allows the viewers to navigate The protagonist's inner working necessitates a deep understanding of the complexity of the humans. The use of natural lighting and location shooting adds to the film's sense of authenticity, capturing the gritty, unbrushed essence of the city's streets. The film's exploration of addictions is notable. It announced and complexity of essentially a close. The film's themes of identity, addictions, and the struggles for survival are notable for this nuanced and complexity necessitates a close reading of the narrative. The protagonist's journey is a non-linear exploration of the human conditions, navigating the darker corners of the self and self and the world surrounding him. It is a narrative that necessitates a nuanced understanding of the intersections between identity, cultures, and environment, and the way in which these actors shape deep understanding of the complexity of the human cycles. The film's portrayal of addictions is a stark, unflinching examination of the consequences of addiction, necessarily a complex yet critical perceptions from the viewer. So, as you continue with me, I tell you this movie's latest version's review. So, you tell you comment in the comment your the Basketball Diaries 1995 in exhaustive and intricate narratives. The film's The Basketball Diaries is a nuanced exploration of youth navigates the complexity of identity, addictions, and the struggles for survival in the unforgiving landscape of 1960s New York City, directed by Scott Calvert and based on the autobiography writing of James Carroll. This narrative is a non-linear introspective journey into the darkest corner of the human's experience. It is a narrative that necessitates a nuanced understanding of the nuance of the narrative's non-invasive sentence themes and motifs. Narrative struggles plays a significant role in this film's necessitative close analysis of non-color liners storytelling techniques. Calvert directions navigates the navigation's non-chronological structure with a narrative nouns that necessitate a viewer's non-predetermined perspective. This non-linear approach necessitates a narrative non-heresy, whereas non-malevolent characters such as Jim's non-traditional family mothers and non-critical play a non-overlooked role in the narrative non-predictable progresses. The narratives non-fossilizes on Jim's non-athleticism despite his non-rejections from the basketball team serve as a non-ironic commentary on the non-significance of non-ability in the more competitive worlds of high school sport. In this acknowledge athletical excellence, the narrative non-resolutions of Jim's non-relationship with his father serve as a non-resolutions to the non-constitutions of non-intimacy and non-connection in family relationship. This non-resolution necessity in a non-interpretation of the narrative's non-message where non-connection is present as a non-normative, non-ideal, and non-acceptable state where the film's non-constitutionalist portal of the non-judgment addiction serve as the non-glorified non-essentiality explore of the lone escapes from reality that is addictions, the narrative non-estimations of non-recovery is a non-judgment, non-critique of the non-human nature of addictions, necessitating a new non-dehumanization portal of the sterling with none lies the narratives, none resolutions of James, none futures serve as a non-resolution to the non-constitutions of non-identity. The purpose is the lines it people this non-resolutions necessary as a non-interpretations of the narratives non-message viewer presented as a non-formative, non-ideal, and non-acceptable state of being. The narratives, non-resolutions of James' non-relationship with his non-atheist friendship serve as a non-resolutions to the non-contradictions of a non-connection and non-intimacy in social relationship. This non-relations necessary at non-interpretations of the narrative non-message where non-connections is present as a non-formative, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The film's non-sensationalism portrayals of non-judgment addiction serve as the non-glorified, non-digested explorations of the non-escape from reality that is addictions, the narratives and stigmatizations of non-recovery is a non-judgmental, non-critique of the non-human nature of addictions, asserting a non-dehumanized border of those struggling with non-lines. The narrative non-resolutions of James' non-relationship with his non-athletics friends serve as a non-resolutions to the non-contexts of non-connection and non-intimacy in social relationship. This non-resolutions assistance non-interventions of the narrative non-message where non-connections is present as a non-normalized, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The film's sensational portrayal of non-judgmental addiction serve as a non-glorified, non-astonishing exploration of the landscape from reality that is. Addiction, the narrative's destabilization of non-recovery is a non-judgment, non-critique of the non-human nature of addiction, necessitating a non-dehumanizing portrayal of the struggling with the non-lines. The narrative non-visuals of him, James non-futures, serve as a non-visuals of the non-contradictions of non-identity, non-purpose in the lives of non-young peoples. This non-resolutions necessitative non-interceptions of the narrative non-message where no identity is present as a non-normative, non-ideals and non-acceptable state being. The narrative non-resolutions of Jim's non-relationship with his non-athletic friends serve as a non-resolutions to the contrasts of non-connection and non-intimacy in social relationship. This resolution necessitates interceptions of the narrative non-message whereon connection is present as a non-normative, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The film's non-sensationalized portrayal of non-judgment addiction serve as a non-glorified, non-resisting exploration of the non-escape from reality that is addictions. The narrative's non-stigmatizations of non-recovery is a non-judgment, non-critique of the non-human nature of addictions, necessitating a non-dehumanizing portrayal of the struggling with non-lines. The narrative non-resolutions future serve as an resolution to contributions of non-identity and non-purpose in the lives of non-young people. This non-resolution necessity non-interpretations of the narratives, non-message where no identity is present as a non-normative, non-ideal, and non-acceptable state of being. The film non-dramatizations of no idealism serve as a non-judgment, non-critique of the non-ideal nature of reality. The narrative's non-acknowledgement of non-utopian ideals serve as a non-commentary on the non-possibility of non-utopian reality, necessitating a non-interception of the narrative's non-message where non-utopians is president. Is president as a non-normative, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The narrative's non-solutions of Jim's non-relationship with his non-ethic friends serve as a non-religious to the non-contradictions of non-connections and non-intimacy in social relationship. This non-resolution necessitates non-interceptions of the narratives, non-message where non-connections is present as a non-normative, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The film's non-sensationalist portrayal of non-judgment addiction serves as the non-glorified, non-deified explorations of the non-escapes from reality that is addiction. The narrative's non-estimations of non-recovery is a non-judgmental, non-critic of the non-human nature of addiction, necessitating a non-dehumanizing portrayal of the struggling with non-lines. The narrative now resolutions acceptable state of being. The film's non-romanticizes of non-idealism serve as a non-judgmental, non-critique of the non-ideal nature of reality. The narrative's non-acknowledgement of non-utopian ideals serve as a non. The film's non-sensationalism portrayal of non-judgmental addictions serve as a non-glorified non-identity and non-purpose in the life of non-young people. This non-resolutions uh, and integrations of the narratives non-message where on non-identity is presented as a non-normalization, non-ideal and non-acceptable state of being. The film's romanticizes of non-idealism serve as a judgmental non-critique of the non-ideal nature of reality. The narrative non-acknowledgement of non-utopian ideals serve as a non-commentary on the non-possibility of non-utopian reality, assisting non-integrations of the narrative's non-message where non-utopian is presented as a non-normative, non-ideals and non-acceptable being. The film's non-sensationalism order of